Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
STU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot. My name's Tom. Today is Sunday, December the 13th, 2020. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch, Hook, Shoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for all your bonus content. ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for all your t-shirt needs. Check out our other web store at catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com. And if you can't remember all that, just check out our link tree. It's linktree/catchhookshoot. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see the little QR code right here in the corner. Just scan that. That'll take you to the link tree with links to everything Catch, Hook, Shoot. Or Catch, Hook, and Shoot. And if you ever want to drop me an email, as always, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So first and foremost, starting off the show again on another sad note, the pro wrestling world lost another legend. I guess you would say. Tom Tiny Lister Jr., known to the wrestling community as Zeus. Starred in the movie No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan, had a few matches in WWE as well as in WCW, and passed away this past week. And rest in peace to Tiny Lister Jr., aka Zeus. So let's get into our regularly scheduled mess here with everything going on in the world of pro wrestling, and we're starting that all off like we always do with the match of the week. So this week's match of the week comes from NXT War Games last week, and it was the men's War Games match between the Undisputed Era and Pat McAfee's team. Pat McAfee, it has impressed the hell out of me the couple times that he's been in the ring. You know, you can tell he's taking it seriously. He has, obviously been training with some of the stuff he's been doing, and this was just a fantastic match between these 8 guys. I mean, they just went in there and beat the holy hell out of each other. No real surprise there. I mean, these are, combined some of the best workers that NXT has to offer, and they put on a great War Games match. So if you have not seen this one yet, go back and check out NXT War Games. The whole show was fantastic. But match of the week this week, the men's War Games match from NXT War Games last week. So let's keep it moving right along with my top 3 highlights of the week, and that's called the 3 count. So first up on the 3 count this week, Kenny Omega made an appearance on Impact with Don Callis, interviewed by Josh Matthews. Well, kind of interviewed. Callis and Omega basically just kind of took over. But just really cool seeing Kenny Omega pop up on Impact and cutting a promo. Kenny Omega is definitely back to being the cleaner, and it was just a cool moment. And they again appeared on Dynamite the next night, basically cut the same promo that they cut on Impact, which to me is kind of smart. So for people who didn't see Impact, they caught it on Dynamite, and maybe they didn't see Dynamite. Excuse me, there was wasn't really anything new from what they said on Impact, but just seeing the AEW World Champion make an appearance on Impact TV is just, I'm not going to say unprecedented, because stuff like that has happened in the past, but definitely very rare, and apparently something we're going to see more of, because Omega and Callis are supposed to be on Impact again this coming week. Number 2 on the 3 count, we saw the return of Karion Kross on NXT on Wednesday night. Now, we first saw Scarlett make an appearance when Finn Balor was in the ring at the top of the show. Then at the end of the show, or later on in the show, Kross actually appeared himself and put Damian Priest through a table or something at ringside, and so apparently Karion Kross is back, which that very, very good. I mean, obviously he's going to be right in the mix for the NXT Championship because he was NXT champion when he had to step away due to injury. So he's obviously going to be looking to get that title back. So I'm hoping to see a Kross Balor matchup in the very near future. I can't wait to see that one. Number 3 on the 3 count, Sting making his latest appearance on AEW Dynamite. This time actually coming out and speaking. It was a cool moment to see Sting and Tony Schiavone. Had an interesting little exchange between Sting and Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson basically getting right up on Sting and saying, I just had to make sure this is real, and then stepped out of the ring. Then we were left with Sting and Cody in the ring, and kind of making it look like Sting is or Cody wants to wrestle Sting. Sting didn't seem that interested in that one, so that could be something to build towards. Sting really not really giving Cody the time of day there. He seemed a little more interested in Darby Allin, who was, he said, a familiar sight because Darby's sitting up in the higher levels of the arena, the black and white face paint, and sitting there with the TNT Championship. Now, I could definitely see Sting and Darby Allin with a bit of a rivalry over the TNT title. Sting, of course, synonymous with TNT, wrestled the last match on Monday Nitro back in 2001. So you've got a very, very good storyline there to build from with Sting and Darby Allin. So I'm hoping that's the direction it's going to go, is Sting and Darby. I don't think Sting needs to win any championships in AEW. I want to make that very clear. I don't think Sting is going to wrestle a whole lot of matches. He is going to wrestle, I'm sure of that, but I don't think he's going to be a full-time in-ring competitor, so I don't think putting a title on him would be practical, because he's not going to be wrestling full-time, and I don't think it's necessary. I mean, it's Sting. He doesn't need a belt. So, Sting and Cody and Darby Allin had a very, very interesting little segment on Dynamite. So moving into news and rumors for the week, starting off Monday Night Raw, had another interesting promo between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, and Orton challenging Bray to a match later on in the show. Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend. And when that match came about, Orton looked like he was about to win, and then the lights went down for a minute, and when they came back up, Bray Wyatt had morphed into The Fiend. So that was a cool little spot. I like that. Obviously, the part with The Fiend was pre-taped. From what I read, when the lights went down, that was the end of the live broadcast, and then they cut to the pre-taped segment with where Orton had changed into The Fiend, seemingly instantaneously. So it was a really, really cool spot. I like that a lot. Asuka picked up a win over Shayna Baszler, so more, with the storyline of Asuka and Lana seemingly going after the women's tag team titles, and I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to win those titles, so keep an eye on that one. Dana Brooke and Ricochet picked up a win over Retribution, Slapjack, and Reckoning, and of course Mustafa Ali, again getting in the face of Reckoning and Slapjack about how they're embarrassing him and this and that, so I'm really not sure where the whole Retribution storyline is going. It started off so hot. They were just running roughshod over Raw and SmackDown, and it just seems to have fizzled out. I don't know if Vince McMahon has just kind of lost interest or lost confidence in this group or what it is, but at this point I don't know if it can be salvaged, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with Retribution going forward. Kofi Kingston picked up a win over Shelton Benjamin and then was immediately challenged by Cedric Alexander, and which Kofi accepted, and Cedric Alexander picks up a win over Kofi Kingston. So now Cedric has wins over both Kofi and Xavier Woods, and again kind of ignoring the rest of the Hurt Business after his victory. So I'm not sure what's going on here. It's looking like Cedric and Shelton are going to get another tag team title shot, but it looks to be a little bit of dissension in the ranks of the Hurt Business. So we'll have to see where this one's going to go. Then we had a 3-on-2 handicap match. AJ Styles, Miz, and John Morrison, picked up a win over Sheamus and Drew McIntyre when Sheamus had a bit of a miscue, hit McIntyre with a brogue kick, which allowed AJ, Miz, and Morrison to pick up the win. And afterwards, we saw what I would call a Celtic brawl in the backstage area between Sheamus and McIntyre, and somewhere along the way, Pat Buck ended up going through the table in the midst of all this, and then Sheamus and McIntyre basically laughed it off and went to get a pint together. So cool little segment there. And it looks like Matt Riddle is trying to form a new tag team with Jeff Hardy that he is tentatively calling the Hardy Bros, which I like the idea of the team. You know, Hardy and Riddle, I think, complement each other very well. I think they'd be a good tag team, so we'll see where this one's going. And talking about Jeff Hardy, he was defeated by Bobby Lashley. And then the main event, like I said, was Orton and Wyatt. Wyatt morphing into the Fiend towards the end of the match. So, yeah, like I said, I thought that was a really cool spot. Moving on to NXT, in the Women's War Games match, Candice LeRae's team defeated Shotzi Blackheart's team, which was a little bit of a surprise to me, but Raquel Gonzalez actually got the pin over Io Shirai. So it looks like Raquel is going to be getting a push because she picked up another win on Wednesday over Ember Moon. So Raquel Gonzalez looking very, very strong here. Also on the War Games show, Tommaso Ciampa got the win over Timothy Thatcher. This match was a definite contender for match of the week. These guys beat the crap out of each other. Thatcher got his ear busted somewhere in the match by a V-trigger type knee from Ciampa, and yeah, just a great match between these two guys, which I fully expected. Dexter Lumis got the win over Cameron Grimes in their strap match. And then we saw not really sure how to describe it. It was a vignette segment with a vulture and things like that kind of interrupted the show. And this was kind of indication about Karion Kross making his comeback, which of course happened on Wednesday, as I said. Johnny Gargano is once again the North American champion. Got the win over Leon Ruff and Damian Priest in a triple threat match during the War Games show. And we found out in the course of that match that the second Ghostface person that we've been seeing with the Garganos is Austin Theory. So, the Gargano team apparently is complete now with Austin Theory, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, and Johnny Gargano. So interesting team that they've got going there. I already talked about the Men's War Games match, which was the match of the week this week. And we found out that on January 6th, NXT is going to be doing an event that they're calling New Year's Evil. Don't have too many details about this yet, but I would assume, well, not assume, that's where we found out Finn Balor is going to be defending the title. Don't know against who just yet. He made that announcement at the beginning of the show on Wednesday and was interrupted by Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly, and Damian Priest during the course of his promo. So obviously the three of them are in the mix for that title match. And as Balor was leaving, that's when we saw Scarlett come out. And then, of course, as I already talked about later on, Karion Kross made his return. Jake Atlas got a victory over Swerve Scott in another good match. Swerve on a bit of a losing streak the last few times he's been on TV and looked very angry at the end of this match as he was leaving the ring. So could we be seeing a heel turn coming for Swerve Scott? We'll find out, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks. Grizzled Young Veterans got a big tag team victory over Everrise and Imperium. So Grizzled Young Veterans definitely trying to work their way into the tag team title picture, I would think. And let's see what else we got going on here. Tommaso Ciampa got a victory over Cameron Grimes. We saw another segment with Xia Li and Boa training / being tortured by whoever this person is that's been sending these notes. We still don't know who this hooded figure is, but these little vignettes we've been seeing the last couple of weeks with Xia and Boa, it's got me very curious. I'm hoping it's leading to something relatively big. So I'm waiting for the big reveal for who this hooded figure is that's been basically torturing Xia Li and Boa the last couple of weeks, and maybe we'll find out coming up on that New Year's Evil show on January 6th. And then Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Pete Dunne picked up a win over Killian Dane. Killian Dane coming back after getting beat down by Dunne and the rest of Pat McAfee's team. The tag team champions tried to interfere in this match. They were chased off by Drake Maverick. I was about to call him Rockstar Spud. Well, same guy. But anyway, due to the distraction, though, Dane was still defeated by Pete Dunne. As I said, Raquel Gonzalez got a victory over Ember Moon, and then we saw Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley both make their way down to the ring after this match. And Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm looks like another budding rivalry, or more of a continuing rivalry, because this actually started in NXT UK for the inaugural NXT UK Women's Championship. So we already know these two can put on some good matches. Moving on to SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler picked up a win over Montez Ford. So Ziggler and Rude moving into position for the SmackDown tag team titles, which, I'm okay with. I mean, I like Ziggler, I like Rude, but I like them both as singles guys. But it seems like the only kind of push that they're getting is as a tag team. So and I'm sure that them and the Street Profits can put on a great match. I have no doubt about that. That's I have no complaints about that. It's just it's again WWE kind of with their cut and paste tag teams is just not really kind of underwhelming, and then they take well established teams and split them up. The WWE tag team division doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Sami Zayn picked up a countout victory over Big E, so I'm sure we have not seen the last of that one. I would almost put money on on Big E becoming the next Intercontinental Champion. They seem to be, they're kind of distancing him more and more from the New Day persona. So I'm interested to see how Big E is going to evolve over the coming weeks and months. But I would probably bet that Big E will be the next Intercontinental Champion. Kevin Owens, cutting a promo in the ring about his match coming up at TLC with Roman Reigns, was attacked by Jey Uso and caught a bit of a beat down there. And Carmella got a shot at the SmackDown Women's title against Sasha Banks, which Carmella did win, but she won by disqualification. So we obviously we're going to see this match again coming up at TLC. This was kind of an impromptu challenge made by Sasha Banks during the contract signing. So, Carmella with a DQ victory over Sasha Banks. Some NXT UK news. We saw the first edition of the Supernova Sessions from Noam Dar, and his first guest was A-Kid, the winner of the Heritage Cup Championship, and this ended up resulting in a match between A-Kid and Tyler Bate on the show. And, A-Kid successfully defended the Heritage Cup Championship. And again, fantastic match. If you don't watch NXT UK, definitely check it out. Some of the best wrestling you're going to see from WWE. And that's not to disparage NXT or Raw or SmackDown. But, NXT UK has just some of the best straight up pure wrestling that you're going to see, especially these Heritage Cup matches that have a little bit different rules. They use a round system, and they're first to win two pinfalls or two submissions, whatever it might be, wins the match. But A-Kid successfully defending the Heritage Cup Championship against Tyler Bate in a great match. And some miscellaneous news from WWE Main Event. I know I don't think I've ever talked about anything happening on Main Event, but Jackson Riker made his return, kind of surprisingly. Made his return on Main Event with Elias. So it looks like that could be a new tag team in WWE's Jackson Riker and Elias. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen if and when they show up on on Raw. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Moving on to AEW, Young Bucks picked up a win over the Hybrid 2 in a great tag team match. A lot of high flying and that kind of stuff with these two teams. But so if you're into that type of match, it was fantastic. And if you're one who kind of rolls your eyes at all the high spots and things like that, you're probably going to hate it. So, but me personally, I thought it was a good match. Then we had the segment with Sting, Cody, and Darby Allin. Like I already talked about, great segment with these guys. And after that, we had a backstage segment with Team Taz, kind of talking trash to all of these guys. So, this could end up in, I could see a 6-man tag team match coming out of this, Cody, Darby, and Sting versus Team Taz. So keep an eye out for that one because it's probably coming up. FTR picked up a win over the Varsity Blondes. Now, the Varsity Blondes is Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. Very good young team. Both guys have been on AEW Dark, and I believe this was their first appearance on Dynamite as a team, and did not disappoint. Put on a great match with FTR, so I'm, hoping to see a lot more of the Varsity Blondes. Dustin Rhodes got a victory over 10 of the Dark Order, but the interesting part of this was after the match, Evil Uno and the rest of Dark Order came out trying to basically recruit Dustin Rhodes and offering him the position of 7 in the Dark Order. Now, if you're not quite getting that reference, back in the later days of WCW when Dustin Rhodes made a return to the company, he was given the gimmick or the character of 7, which was kind of almost a takeoff of the Undertaker, sort of a supernatural thing. He had his face painted stark white or all black with the black trench coat, cowboy hat, came to the ring more or less floating, quote unquote, on cables, and made one appearance as that character and basically got on the mic and said, forget this is garbage, I'm Dustin Rhodes. So that's the story behind the Dark Order offering Dustin the 7 spot in the Dark Order, which Dustin promptly turned down. Saw an interesting interview segment with Brandy Rhodes and Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Shaq, of course, has been referenced by Jade in AEW. Jade, the one who's responsible for the broken arm that Brandy is currently nursing. Shaq saying that he doesn't endorse that and things like that, but then towards the end of the interview made an offhanded comment to Brandy like, you should keep an eye on Jade, you might learn a thing or two. And then we saw Brandy throw a glass of water in Shaq's face. So this is obviously building towards something. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Shaq in an AEW ring sooner rather than later. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is what it is. In a 6-man tag team match, Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade got the win over Phoenix, Pentagon, and Lance Archer. Now, Pentagon was taken out early on in the match, was helped to the back by officials. Apparently, this was just to kind of write him off TV or get him out of the match because he apparently has had an injury that's been nagging the last few weeks. So just to kind of give him some time off. Then Abaddon got a win over Tesha Price. And we saw Hikaru Shida make an appearance at the end of this match after Abaddon continued attacking Price after the match was over. And MJF defeated Orange Cassidy for the Dynamite Diamond, so he once again is in possession of the Dynamite Diamond ring for another year. Now this, obviously was not a clean victory. So we saw some interference from the Inner Circle as well as Miro and Kip Sabian. So it was kind of a big cluster, but MJF did get the victory over Orange Cassidy, and this is leading to, I believe, a 14-man tag team match coming up this week on AEW Dynamite, so that should be interesting. A match between the I believe it's all the members of the Inner Circle plus everyone who Orange Cassidy had at ringside on his side, so should be interesting to watch. Some New Japan news. They had 3 of their major tournaments this week. Best of the Super Juniors was won by Hiromu Takahashi. The World Tag League was won by Gorillas of Destiny, so they will get a tag team title match coming up at Wrestle Kingdom. And the Super J Cup was won for the 2nd year in a row by El Phantasmo. Now, going back to the World Tag League for a second, looking at the state of tag team wrestling, the Bullet Club right now is owning tag team wrestling throughout the wrestling world. You've got Gorillas of Destiny winning the World Tag League, which means they get a shot at the IWGP Tag Team Championships at Wrestle Kingdom. You have the Good Brothers as the Impact World Tag Team Champions, and you have the Young Bucks as the AEW World Tag Team Champions. The Bullet Club owns tag team wrestling right now, folks. That's just the way it is. Getting into Ring of Honor here, they taped their final battle pay-per-view this weekend, but it's not going to be airing until this coming Friday, the 18th. So I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything like that. But EC3, Bandito, Flamita, and Kenny King were all pulled from the show due to COVID-19 concerns. So that actually resulted in 2 matches being canceled. A match between EC3 and Jay Briscoe, and then a 6-man tag team championship match, all ended up getting pulled from the show. But the show as it stands, as it was recorded on the kickoff show, the pre-show, there is a 4-way match for a shot at the ROH World Television Championship later on in the show. That 4-way match is Tony Deppen versus LSG versus Josh Woods versus Dak Draper. Then we've got a tag team match, Fred Yehai and Wheeler Yuta versus the Foundation, Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus. That is a Pure Rules tag team match, so that should be a fantastic match with those 4 guys. That's part of the pre-show. I'm definitely going to be checking that one out. Then Brian Johnson taking on Danhausen. If Danhausen wins, he gets an ROH contract. So I'm rooting for Danhausen in this one, guys. If you are not familiar with Danhausen, again, this is part of the pre-show. It's free, so check it out. Danhausen is freaking awesome. Very entertaining guy. If you're not familiar with him, check this match out. Then the main show for Ring of Honor Final Battle, the OGK or OG Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett taking on the Righteous. Vincent and Bateman should be an interesting match here. I'm guessing this is going to be a pretty violent match with these 2 teams. Then Dragon Lee defending the World Television Championship against the winner of the 4-way match from the pre-show. The Foundation, Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham defending the Tag Team Championships against an interesting team, Mark Briscoe and PCO. Now, with EC3 being pulled from the show, I'm wondering if this will end up being just the Briscoe brothers, rather than Mark Briscoe and PCO, since Jay Briscoe doesn't have a match. But have to wait and see. Either way, but Mark Briscoe and PCO, interesting tag team right there. Then Jonathan Gresham again having 2 matches this night, defending the Pure Championship against Flip Gordon. Again, Pure Rules matches are amazing. If you have not seen any of these, go back and check them out. Check this match out. Go back and check out the Pure Championship tournament that Gresham won. Some of the best, exactly what it implies. Pure wrestling, mat wrestling. And it's just, they're amazing matches that these guys put on. And then for the Ring of Honor World Championship, Roosh defending against number 1 contender Brody King. So looking like Ring of Honor's got a pretty good show put together here, despite the men that had to be pulled from the show. Moving on to Impact, Chris Sabin picked up a win against Josh Alexander. Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone actually made an appearance on Impact by way of a commercial for AEW. Tony Khan saying, I don't mind spending the money, and, I don't mind Kenny showing up. It just gets more eyes on AEW. So it was a cool little spot with Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone. Brian Myers got a victory over TJP. Eric Young got a win over Cody Deaner. And then, of course, Young and Joe Doring put another beat down on the Deaners. Rhino came out to make the save on this one. Taya and Rosemary picked up a win over Deonna Purrazzo and Kimber Lee, so they advanced in the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament. Eddie Edwards attacked Sami Callihan during the show, so there looks like that rivalry is being reignited. Of course, Sami Callihan a couple years ago put Eddie Edwards out for a while with a busted eye socket from an errant bat shot that was supposed to go into a chair and ended up going into Eddie Edwards' face. Very scary spot if you didn't see that. And then Chris Bay and Moose got a win over Rich Swann and Willie Mack. A little bit of a surprise there. And then Impact had their final resolution Impact Plus special just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Tommy Dreamer got the win over Larry D. So as a result of that, Larry D has to go to jail for the attempted murder of Johnny Bravo. Havoc and Nevaeh got a win over the Sea Stars. Tennille and Caleb with a K got a win over Alicia and Eddie Edwards. Hernandez defeated Falaba with Kiera Hogan as the special guest referee and Tasha Steeles as the guest ring announcer. And so Hernandez wins back his big roll of money that's been getting passed around for the last several weeks that was stolen from him. Eric Young got a victory over Rhino, and this was interesting. I saw a clip of this. Of course, Eric Young had Joe Doring with him, Joe Doring interfering in the match. The Deaners came down to the ring to help out Rhino, at least it appeared they were trying to help out Rhino. Got into the ring, and Cody Deaner turned on cousin Jake. So Cody Deaner making a heel turn, took out his own cousin and left the ring area. So I'm sure we'll see more about this coming up on Tuesday. Manic, aka TJP, is your new X Division champion. Won the title from Rohit Raju. Now, of course, TJP was not. He was basically told he could not challenge for the X Division title anymore as long as Rohit was the champion. And after a discussion with Scott D'Amore in the back, he kind of dropped the hint that, anybody else that's not named TJP can go for that championship. So, we saw the reappearance of Manic, one of TJP's alternate personalities in Impact. So he is the new X Division champion. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Rosemary in a Knockouts Championship match, so Deonna's still the champion. Carl Anderson picked up a win over Ethan Page. Now, if Page would have won, the North would have gotten another match for the Impact World Tag Team titles. Of course, Carl Anderson did get the win, so no title match for the North. Now, Ethan Page, by all accounts, has finished up with Impact. Impact has finished all their TV tapings for the year, and Ethan Page's contract is up at the end of the year, and by all accounts is not re-signing. So, we've pretty much seen the last of the North, at least in Impact, because Josh Alexander's still under contract for, I believe it was 7 or 8 more months from what I had read. So, it'll be interesting to see where Ethan Page lands. Now, if he were to end up in AEW, we could still potentially see the North as a tag team because AEW and Impact are working together. So there still could be some interesting stuff to go on there. And Rich Swann had a successful defense of the Impact World title against Chris Bay. Moving into some MLW news, they announced that their Kings of Coliseum, which is normally a pay-per-view event, is going to be free on January 6th. So another big event on January the 6th, in addition to the NXT New Year's Evil show. Had a really cool spot with Selena De La Renta this week on MLW, basically talking about her newest acquisition, I guess you could call it, and it is a man by the name of Pascal Mendoza. Now, from the things that she was saying about him, and this has been confirmed, well, I wouldn't say confirmed, but, has been talked about in dirt sheets and stuff. Pascal Mendoza is Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground. Same backstory, was buried in rubble in an earthquake and, managed to survive for however many days, but it, changed him, made him, evil and things like that. And so, Mil Muertes, or Judas Macias, as he was known in Impact when he was with Father James Mitchell against Abyss. Ricky Banderas is his actual name, but will be apparently debuting for MLW, so I am here for that. I am a huge fan of Mil Muertes. He was probably in my top 2 or 3 of my favorites in Lucha Underground, so I can't, and putting him with Selena De La Renta is just a genius move in my opinion, so I cannot wait to see this debut because it's going to be good. The team of Violence is Forever won their debut match in MLW in impressive fashion. If you're not familiar with Violence is Forever, Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini, go back and check these guys out. They're a great tag team. MLW is a great fit for them, so I can't wait to see more of them. And obviously the two of them part of Team Filthy with Filthy Tom Lawler. Low Key got a victory over Richard Holiday, so he advances to the finals of the Opera Cup tournament. And a tag team title match between the Von Erichs and Contra unit ended in a no contest when Team Filthy and Injustice both got involved in the match, and it just ended in a huge brawl with everybody. So definitely a lot of unfinished business there. So that's going to do it for news and rumors for this week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
thank you, Tom, and hey there, wrestling fans. I am Charlie G with your rare Sunday morning recording of the NXTUK. We begin with Friday, December 4th, Big Japan Pro Wrestling 01. A few tag matches were El Lindemann and Kota Sakafuda defeating Soki Kitamura and Tsukami Baba. Tamiro Hayata and Yuji Okabayashi defeated Hideyoshi Kamatani and Takiro Kato. Sanjiro Otani defeated Kosuke Sato, and Shima teamed with Hartley Jackson and Ryuji Ito to defeat Daichi Hashimoto, T-Hawk, and Tawa Iwasaki. So Shima actually went against T-Hawk in a 6-man tag match. Very interesting. All Japan World Tag League Day 6. It was Raiju Sai and Yoshitatsu getting 4 points. Masao Tanaka and Tajiri getting 6 points. Jake Lee and Koji Iwamoto also getting 6 points. And Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aagi got 6 points as well. Back here in the States, at Pro South Wrestling in Piedmont, Alabama. For their all-out title, champion Cameron Keese defeated Robert Starr. For their YouTube title in a ladder match, James Hardy defeated champion Robbie Vio, Roma Miller, Scott Patterson, and Shane Mako to become new champion. Over to Alternative Pro Wrestling in Royston, Georgia. For the North Georgia title, champion Caleb Crocker defeated Kirkland. And then he also defeated Steve Ray Frost. Okay. Then to Super Kicked Unlisted number 10 from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Colby Durst defeated Mark Wheeler. Training Decker defeated Dallas Kyle in a hardcore match. And Mike Morstan defeated Jesse V. Staying in Canada, we have Canadian Wrestling Elite Consequence Tour from Winnipeg, Manitoba. They had a CWE title tournament. In the final, it was Danny Dugan defeating Mantello to become a new champion. There was a CMLL recording, which was a good match. It was Cristico, Diamante Azul, and Valente defeating Los Canceberios of Canceberio and Razil and Foresterio. Then we go to Honor Wrestling Association in South Africa, of all places, so you are now on the map. They held a world title match where Ultimate Nathan defeated champion Mr. Money to become new champion. Then we go to Saturday, December 5th. Westside Extreme Wrestling still going on. I won't get to that to the final. I'm tired of that. One match at a time. Give me a break. Then Insane Championship Wrestling put out Fight Club 148 on the WWE Network, so check that out if you wish. Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate 2020 BB Hulk Homecoming. Yeah, we had Susumi, Mu, Yoko Shuka, and Ultimate Dragon defeating Strong Machine J and UT. Dragon Dia, Jason Lee, Kota Miyanoura, and Shun Skywalker defeating Ben K, KZY, Yamato, and Yosaki Santa Maria. I don't see your baby in this. Oh, okay. DDT had an Old Life is About Pro Wrestling, which was, I believe, a Dancico Dino produced show. So in the main event, it was the new Numero Pro Wrestling roster to defeating Dansiko Dino. That had to be an interesting match, to say the least. All Japan Pro League, World League, World Tag League. Sorry about that. Day 8. So against Kenta Miyahara and Yuma Agi got 8 points. Abdullah Kobayashi and Daisuke Sakamoto got 8 points. Suji Ishikawa and Suwama got 6. And Jake Lee and Koji Iwamoto got 8. Then to Pro Wrestling Powerrr Santa Slam in Queensland, Australia. They had a title match where Rocco Rumble defeated E10, who is their champion, but by DQ, so no title change there. Staying in Australia for Explosive Pro Wrestling Out of the Ashes. They had a tag title match where Jake Edwards and Tyler King defeated Aaron Hawk and Dan Steele, who were champions, to become new champion. That's about it there. Then all the way up to Rock Falls, Illinois, with Zawa Live No Role Models. Go through this quickly. Berna defeated Damian DeShane. J.C. Price defeated Riot Raymond. Kristen Rose defeated Gunner Brave. Doc Simmons defeated Killer B. For their Fireweight title match, champion Doc Simmons defeated Berna. And in their Zawa title match, Connor Hopkins, who was champion, defeated Mr. Havens. Wrestle Against Hunger from Tulsa, Oklahoma. El Gringo Loco and Elijah Sparks defeated Black Mask and Red Mask to become new tag champs. So congrats to El Gringo Loco. In their WA title match, Cody Burns defeated champion Pastor Brent to become the champion there as well. And in their hardcore title 7-way ladder match, Carnage defeated Elijah Sparks, JJ Heffley, Kurt Castle, Cody Ocean, and Spike the Silverback to become new champion. Then on to Southern Fried Championship Wrestling from Cornelia, Georgia. This one is interesting. We have in their classic title, Todd Sexton defeated David Ali to become the champion. Then in their Southern Fried Heavyweight title, which was vacant, Griff Garrison of AEW fame defeated Corey Hollis to become new champion. So Griff Garrison is a champion. And then to back that up, we go to Ohio Valley Wrestling, Christmas Chaos 2020, their pay-per-view. We have a bunch of title changes here. For the Rush title, William Lutz defeated champion Dimes to become the champ. Jesse Goddard's retained his national title match against Ace Austin. Ace Austin was in Ohio Valley Wrestling. Then in their OVW Heavyweight title steel cage match, Brian Pillman Jr., our buddy, defeated champion Tony Gunn to become new champion. So Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., the Varsity Blondes, are champions in respective in the territories. So congrats to them. Then on to GCW Game Changer Wrestling Slime Season. That was on YouTube, free, and a pretty good show at that. It was still in Vegas. You would know the banners behind, so check that out if you can. We got Chris Bay defeating Jordan Oliver. Really good match there. Safa Fatu, who raided who pretty much raided the Usos' closet to defeat Facade. Jacob Fatu defeated Matthew Justice. A really good match there. KTB defeated Damian Drake, Eli Everfly, Jimmy Lloyd, Matt Vandergriff, and Nate Webb. Mansworn defeated Atticus Cougar. Alley Cat defeated Cucataro. That was a pretty fun match. Ricky Shane Page defeated Juicy Finale. That was actually pretty good as well. And then Blake Christian defeated Darkheart Leo Rush. Yeah, that was an interesting long entrance by Leo Rush. Pretty cool. Match lasted 29 minutes, people, so check that out if you can. A really good match. Then to Intergender Bonanza and 7 and extra creamy Christmas from Williamstown, New Jersey. Their intergender Bonanza Super Title match, which was Mark Angel defeating Zoe Sky. East Coast Wrestling Association from Morganville, New Jersey. For the World 1 Heavyweight title, Mike Law defeated champion Travis Lee. Then they had a legacy title match where Eric Martin, who was champion, retained against Chris Wilde. So that set up the ECWA Unified title and World 1 title match where champion Joey Ace of ECWA defeated Mike Law of his World 1 titles to become double champion there. Then on to a Generation Championship Wrestling, different GCW, 14, the Diamond Cup. This was all women's matches. So they had first round matches, Queen Amanita, Sky Blue, defeating Deonna Purrazzo of all people. So that good match there. Sal Guerrero defeated Renee Michelle by DQ. And Genocide defeated Vanity. So in the semis, it was Queen Amanita defeating Sal Guerrero, and Sky Blue defeating Genocide by countout. So for their GCW Women's Title Diamond Cup match, Queen Amanita defeated Sky Blue to become the champion. Then on to Sunday, December 6th, Rev Pro encounters number 6. They have a tournament going on as there. I'm not going to get into that. They had a Rev Pro British Women's title match. Champion Giselle Shaw defeated Bobby Tyler. And then their SWE heavyweight title match, Dan Maloney defeated Ricky Knight Jr. You can check that out on Twitch or YouTube. Probably YouTube now since it's not live. Pro Wrestling 01 from Japan. Where they had Masato Tanaka and Takaya Sugara defeated Ram Kaichu and Shinji Otani. Yeah. And then they also started up a tag tournament as well. I can't get into that. Tokyoshi Pro, Day 9. Don't really know to go through all these, but they had an International Princess title match where champion Yuki Kamafuki defeated Miharu Kiru. And a nice match. Noah the Best Final Chronicles. Junior Heavyweight Tag title match. Hayata and Yoshinari Ogawa, who are champions, defeated Kotaro Suzuki and Salvatore Anta. And their national title match, champion Kanoi defeated Katsushi Sakuraba. And their GHC heavyweight title match, champion Go Shiozaki defeated Takashi Sugiura. New Japan Pro Wrestling put on their Super Junior and World Tag League combined show. Don't need to get into that too much. Tom pretty much covered it. DDT DOU Grand Prix in Niramishu, Day 4. Block A matches were Chris Brooks getting 6 points, Kensuke Takashita getting 6 points, and Akito getting 5, with Hiramisho getting 7 with a double pin. Block B matches were Yuki Uno with 6, Soma Takao with 6, and Katsusada Higuchi also getting 6. And minor upsets there. 666 had Fan Patient Day. They had a Battle Royal where Masato Tanaka won that. There was Active Advanced Pro Wrestling Battle 80. Kingdom New Normal World Championship Series from Rutherford, South Wales, Australia. Where for the Kingdom title match, the Buccaneer defeated Genghis Kong. Back here in the States, without a cause, without a crowd, number 4 took place on Twitch. Then All Star Pro Wrestling from Bethany, Oklahoma took place. For their ASP title hardcore three-way match. Double D defeated champion Dmitry Alexandrov, and Brawler Morrison become the champion. Down to Mexico for International Wrestling Revolution Group, where a hair versus hair match with Dr. Wagner Jr. defeating Capo Mayer by DQ. There was another CMLL show on YouTube. Check that out. All Japan Tag League Day 8, the finals. Turned out to be Kento Miyahara and Yuma Aagi got 10 points, defeating Jake Lee and Koji Iwamoto, who had 8. It was a good show, brutal match, and All Japan trophies are nothing to joke about. They look like Stanley Cup titles, how big they are. I was able to see this show, so check that out if you can. You know where to look. Thank you, Big Willie. Real good show. Check that out if you can. Then on to Tuesday, December 8th, Dragon Gate, Fantastic Gate, Day 5. Nothing really big there. NWA Shockwave show number 2 took place. Where that Thunder Rosa versus Priscilla Kelly match took place. Check that out if you can. That was really good. Northeast Wrestling Studio Wars number 5 with the live title match. Champion Kristen Castanova defeated Brad Hollister. Then New South Action Class number 13 took place from Haynesville, Alabama. Wednesday, December 9th, Seedling Shinkaba Night took place, where Sari and Yoshiko defeated Itsaki Aoki and Ryo Muzunami. Gato Pro Gato Move Chaka Pro 72 took place on YouTube. Dragon Gate Day 6 took place. MLW Fusion 113 took place on YouTube. Limitless the Road Season 2 Day 8 took place, where Basic Becca defeated Paris Fondale. Interesting last name there. Thursday, December 10th, IWA Mid-South Happy Holidays took place, where Aaron Williams and Vincent Nothing defeated Jay Kurst and Kevin Giza. Friday, December 11th, New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Juniors and World Tag League the finals took place. Tom covered that. New Japan Strong, the 19 Detonation show. Jay White defeated Carl Fredericks. Tama Tonga defeated ACH. Chase Owens, Hikuleo, and Tangaloa defeated David Finlay, Juice Robinson, and Mysterio Jr. And then Clark Connors and DKC defeated the Regal Twins. Then to Thunder Rosa's Mission Pro Runner Back Show from Buda, Texas. For the SWE Women's title, champion Miranda Gordy defeated Killer Kate. Genocide defeated Amber Rodriguez. Red Velvet defeated Roche Chanel. Jenna Lynn defeated Aaliyah Mia Sweets. Baby D defeated Thunder Rosa with help from Allison Kay. Rachel Rose defeated Blair Onyx. For the PPW Women's title match, champion Maddie Rankowski defeated Jasmine Allure. Kimberly defeated Allison Kay with the help of Thunder Rosa. Then for their Mission Pro title, best 2 out of 3 falls match to become first champion, La Rosa Negra defeated Lacey Ryan 2 falls to 1. So congrats to her. Saturday, December 12th, Tokyo Pro Day 10. Marika Kobayashi defeated Sena Sayura. Mira Miyomi and Noya Kakuda defeated Hypermichio and Moka Miyamoto. May St. Michelle and Saki Sami defeated Runo Neko and Suzumi. Hikari Nora and Mio Yamashita defeated Maki Ito and Raku. Nodoka Tenma and Yuki Aino defeated Soka Nakajima. Oh, with Soka Nakajima defeated Mihiro Kiru, Pam Hirajuku, and Yuki Kamafuki. And Mizuki and Yuki Sakazaki defeated Mio Watanabe. No, sorry about that. Mizuki and Yuki Sakazaki went against Mio Watanabe and Rika Tatsumi to a 20 time limit draw. Fun, quick show. Check that out if you can, when you can. New Ice Ribbon 1086 took place. No title changes there. DDT OU Grand Prix. Day 5. Block B matches. Shinma Katsumata got 4 points. Jun Yakiyama got 8. Makoto Aoshi got 4. Block A was Akito getting 6. Mao getting 6. And Kansuki Takashita also getting 8. Freedoms. We Love Yokohama show took place. And then the reason I am recording this on Sunday, along with a minor basement flooding, was Triple Mania 28. Yes, it was in Mexico, in a big arena, but no crowd, and it was condensed, kind of like the Thunderdome, but a lot better. We get to 6-man trios tag of Ponder Nel Notre, of Tito Santana, Cardo Bravo Jr., and Mocha Carda Jr. defeated Dinastia, who replaced Dino Hamburguesa, Maximo, and Mr. Iguana. That was a pretty good match there. They had a La Parca Hall of Fame ceremony, which was really cool and touching. For the AAA World Tag Championships in a three-way tag, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr., who are champions, defeated Mr. C's Jr. and Octagon Jr., as well as Tejano and Rey Scorpion. They did play off Penta's injury, taking him off to heal up. He came back out to finish the match with one boot on, kind of Randy Savage-like, and he pinned Mr. C Jr. for a win. Then at the end of the match, a returning Taurus came out to beat down Mr. C Jr. and Octagon Jr., and then a returning Vikingo came out to help his tag partners out against those three. So that was a real good ending. Setting up more to come, hopefully, for the new year. Then for the Copa Tripmania Women's Cup, in a kind of a Royal Rumble entrant elimination to a final 2. So Lady Shani went against Lady Maravilla in the final, winning that. The other participants were Fabi Apache, Chica Tormenta, La Hydra, Hades, Pipina Escalara, which was a surprise, and Mamba, also a surprise. They set up more match for Lady Shani, La Hydra, and Maravilla, with Lady Flammer coming out to help out, and Fabi Apache and Hades actually came out to help her. So that was pretty cool. In the 6-man trios tag match, Psycho Clown, Monster Clown, and Murder Clown defeated Blue Demon Jr., L.A. Park, and El Heel del L.A. Park, who got the loss there. Then in a weird Marvel Lucha Libre exhibition match, where Tira Pura, who was Brian Cage, and Vena Yad, who was like Venom. Tira Pura was pretty much like Thanos. Venocide was Venom, and who was Black Taurus. I'm not sure about that one. They defeated Arcano, who was Leo Rush. You can check that out. And Leyenda Mercana, who was Daga. He didn't cover up his tattoos very well. So very weird match. I didn't pay attention to it because I was trying to figure out who these guys were. Hopefully those spoilers didn't spoil of that too much, but check out that match if you can. It's pretty good. Then for the AAA Mega Championship, the reason I'm doing this, champion Kenny Omega came down with Michael Nakazawa to defeat Laredo Kid, who had Vikingo in his match, in his corner, I should say. Awesome match. They fought around the arena on tires and all that. Then hair versus hair match. Pagano defeated Chessman in a wild, brutal match where Chessman even hit Hugo Savinovich with a guitar, of all things, busting him open. Yes, Hugo got it on camera. This was free on YouTube and Facebook, and towards the last match, it combined 100,000 viewers for AAA Triple Mania. So congrats to them on a great show. I enjoyed it. Chad enjoyed it. It was pretty great. So check that out if you can. I suggest you do. That's a wrap for me. Till next time with any news, which would be the rest of Saturday shows, which I did not cover, and any news that come about. Don't forget to check out those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep wearing your mask, keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So right now we're going to keep rolling right along into the next segment of the show, continuing with the CHS Fantasy Faction Tournament, and I am talking about the Fantasy Booker. We are into the semifinals of the faction tournament here, and this week the first semifinal matchup: the Four Horsemen versus the Fabulous Freebirds. The Four Horsemen unit that I am using for the purpose of this tournament, one more time, is Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham, of course, with J.J. Dillon. And the Fabulous Freebirds, I am using all of the Freebirds: Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Buddy Jack Roberts, and Jimmy Jam Garvin. Yeah, Freebirds, probably my favorite faction of all time. I've always been a fan of the Freebirds, going all the way back to World Class Championship Wrestling days. The Freebirds probably the first heels that I rooted for as a kid. And I don't know, just Michael Hayes always been one of my favorites, whether it's tag team, singles, whatever. Love Michael Hayes. But, in this case, I got to give it to the Four Horsemen. I mean, The Four Horsemen, especially this version of the Horsemen with Barry Windham, probably one of the most perfect factions that there are. You've got the undisputed leader, the world champion, and Ric Flair, the enforcer Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, the ring general, and Barry Windham. Just the big, strong, doesn't talk a whole lot, but just kind of beats the hell out of everybody. So and just four of the best wrestlers of their time, let's be honest. So I got to give this particular victory to the Four Horsemen over the Fabulous Freebirds. So the Four Horsemen moving into the finals of the CHS faction tournament. So we'll see who their opponents are going to be. I believe the semifinal matchup coming up next week is the Bullet Club versus the Elite. So should be interesting. So we'll see how that one works out. But for right now, the Four Horsemen getting that first spot in the finals. So let's move into my last segment of the show for this week, where I give kind of an unpopular opinion, and I'm sure this is going to be no exception. Not everybody's going to like this, but I'm talking about the weekly hot take. So my hot take for this week is this: I want to see Kenny Omega start collecting belts. Now that we've got AEW working with Impact and also obviously working with AAA, and hopefully fences have started to be mended with New Japan, I want to see Kenny Omega start collecting world title belts. He's already got the AEW belt. He had a successful defense of the AAA Mega Championship last night at Triple Mania, so he's already got 2 world championships. I want to see Omega versus Swan. First of all, that is going to be a hell of a match when and if it happens. And I want to see Omega win the Impact title. Then I want to see him go on and win the Ring of Honor title, the MLW title, the IWGP title. I want to see Kenny Omega holding every world championship outside of WWE. I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, AEW, like I said, they're already working with Impact. They work with AAA. They work with NWA. Let's see how far they can take it. let me see Kenny Omega versus Nick Aldis. Shit, I would pay good money to see that match. Nick Aldis, I mean, definitely different styles there, but two of the best wrestlers in the world. I don't think that can be argued by anybody. So, I'd love to see Kenny Omega add the NWA title to his collection, add the Impact title to his collection, and just see how far they can take it. It's, never been done before with the top championships anywhere. I mean, back in, the late 90s, we saw the J Cup from New Japan with, where they combined all these different cruiserweight and middleweight and light heavyweight titles. There ended up being 10 titles as part of this J Crown, back then. And, it was held by Ultimo Dragon, was probably the most well-known holder of all those titles, which included the WCW Cruiserweight title at the time. So, let's see this happen with World Heavyweight Championships. And I'm not saying it's got to be for a long time. I'm not saying he's got to hold 7 titles for 2 years or anything like that. No. But just, put all those championships together and make one true World Heavyweight Champion for every company outside of WWE. I would love to see that. I've always wanted to see something like that. And I think Kenny Omega's the right guy to do it because he's got that popularity all over the world. He's known in Mexico, he's known in Japan, he's known in the US, he's known in Canada. He the entire wrestling world knows who Kenny Omega is. So he is, in my opinion, the perfect guy to try to pull this off, and I would love to see it personally. So that's my hot take. I want to see Kenny Omega start collecting belts. And, I mentioned Ultimo Dragon. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Austin Aries as well. He collected a number of championships just a few years back. So, I want to see Kenny Omega doing this on a big scale with the top companies, with the top titles. So hopefully it happens at least somewhat. Let Omega have 3 or 4 championships at one time and see how it goes over with everybody. I mean, the NWA championship isn't doing a whole lot right now. Nick Aldis did have a title defense against Brian Pillman Jr., I believe earlier this week. But the NWA title's not on TV anymore. We're not seeing that championship every week. So get Nick Aldis involved with AEW. Him versus Kenny Omega over who's the real World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, you've already got the NWA Women's Champion on AEW. Bring in the World Champion. Hell, bring in the TV Champion too. Bring in all the NWA champions. Get these guys on TV. Let people know that these titles are out there. But my whole point is I want to see Kenny Omega collecting belts. That's what I want to see. So that's my hot take for this week. So, that's going to pretty much wrap things up. Make sure you come back and check out the show next week for my preview and predictions for the WWE TLC pay-per-view. And coming up in 2 weeks, going to have our year-end awards. It's not going to be a big, long award show like I did last year because I had the Decade Awards as well. But we're going to be giving out awards for Wrestler of the Year, Men's, Women's, and Tag Teams, Match of the Year, Men's, Women's, and Tag Teams, as well as Moment of the Year. So definitely make sure you check that out coming up in about 2 weeks. Or no, not in about 2 weeks, in 2 weeks from today. And like I said, next week, preview and predictions for WWE TLC's pay-per-view. So, again, want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you follow on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot, patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot, as well as catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for all your merchandise, t-shirts, hats, all that kind of fun stuff. And if you can't remember all that, like I said, check out our Linktree at linktree/catchhookshoot, or if you're watching on YouTube, scan this little QR code right here in the corner. Scan that, it'll take you to the Linktree page with links to everything that is Catch, Hook, and Shoot. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all the wrestling coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.